Dr. Randy Short. I am, senior lay minister for Salvation and Liberation Temple LLC based in Washington, D.C. And I wanted to give my perspective on the violence in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and in other places in the United States in the aftermath of the killings of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and others. What I know is happening and what is going on in the United States presently is one. About 11 years ago, the Department of Homeland Security issued a report stating that racial terrorists, Nazis, white supremacists, and others had infiltrated significant parts of American law enforcement across the country. They had joined police departments, court systems, and whatsoever as a means to create racial confusion, to murder, in particular, Black Americans, and to create a race war. There have been racial wars in American history, even if they are not reported widely. There are groups that have a racist eschatological desire to ultimately, or like basically a white supremacist Gadamarung, wherein whites would exterminate all the Black people in order to save America. These forces are a significant part of the confusion, both within law enforcement and militias like the Kenosha Guard that Kyle Rittenhouse was in. We've had a long history of white militias killing and murdering and raping. This is as old as America. We've had entire cities, or at least sections of cities, whether it's Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or East St. Louis, or Knoxville, Tennessee, or Rosewood in Florida, or Helena, Arkansas, where hundreds, if not thousands, of Blacks were killed, wounded, displaced, or injured. There is a serious effort to bring about a race war in America. There's a very good book called The Turner Diaries, which is a Bible for teaching whites how to mass murder Black people. It is for sale. Anyone can buy such a book. There are legends or things such as the Day of the Rope. This is a day in which whites just go out and kill all Black people. Nothing is done about this. President Obama failed to do anything about this. He basically allowed this situation to grow. Donald Trump inherited a corrupted legal system across the country, and due to his base, very little is done. What I will say of Black Lives Matter, it is a Marxist, atheistic, very dangerous group that is precipitating confusion in America, causing racial conflict, claiming to be a Black group, but it's not really. I work with groups of people in Chicago and other places that have been fighting against Black Lives Matter. It is controlled by globalist people with a very, very radically deviant social agenda to promote LGBTQ and pedophilia. It has nothing to do with Black people, their values, or our lives. Antifa, which in prison works hand in hand with the Aryan Brotherhood, a white hate Nazi group, and outside they, with the anarchists and others, really couldn't care anything about what happens to Black people. There has always been an interest by people on the right to kill Blacks just because they're Black, and there are people on the left to use the racial animus against Black people to precipitate a leftist revolution, and Black people are caught in the middle legitimate issues of racial injustice and issues with racist law enforcement and other policies that are uh, paragenocidal or exploitative and oppressive that exist are addressed by neither the extremists on the right or the extremists on the left. And this is atop by black leadership in the country is either corrupt, deviant, non-existent, or it's suppressed. And the Democratic Party is as aligned with the racists as the far right wing of the Republican Party. In fact, one of the most noted Nazis in the country, Richard Spencer, has endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris Imhoff. So you really have a bad situation. There is an effort to use the violence on the street and to use the issue of race to polarize people to achieve political ends on the right and on the left. And when the dust clears, all the blame and the hatred is focused in on black Americans. So it makes no difference. Portland, Seattle, Chicago, and amid these police shootings like what happened to Jacob Blake, you've had law enforcement do nothing about escalating murders and crimes in Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, Los Angeles. So in reality, we have a very bad situation. We're in nothing short of a moral, ethical revolution that touched all aspects of society could change it. I think things will probably get worse if Biden becomes president. I believe that if Trump wins, because he's been pushing law and order, you'll see this die down. In a nutshell, much of what I see happening in the country is more about bringing down the Trump presidency than dealing with the issues of race and injustice or any of that. Knocking down statues and all this and burning and looting does not deal with income disparities, health disparities, housing disparities, systemic and structural racism and exploitation of my people who are Aboriginal Americans, which you call Indians, and black Americans who are a mixture of white and black and Indian. My people don't get anything out of this except death, infamy, lies, and more repression. And by the way, that's key. The Marxists always wanted to, the communists and the others, Soros and others, want to create a situation where there's so much tension and conflict that a violent revolution can take place, and black people will be the cannon fodder, the people who get mowed down and destroyed to bring about this leftist change. And that will solve the race problem because we'll all be dead. Dr. Randy Short, that's what I have to say about it.